All right, guys, we're back for another part of this installation on this dump trailer. Now, in the last video, we made a lot of progress. We got pretty far, but now we got to finish it up and we got to test it out. So, all right, let's get right into it and let's get to it. So let's do that. So there is that I'll have to watch out for. Essentially, that hook hooked that, so I'll have to make sure that I watch that. And I can see I have a little problem right here where this isn't quite wanting to twist. It's got a little binding. So I'm pretty sure I know how to fix that. I need to shave just a little bit off of these bolts where it meets right here. I'm pretty sure that's where it's binding up at. So yeah, I'm gonna finish all these little details, painting it, and we're gonna put the bed on and the sides. All right, so I was removing the bolts and then painting it and trying to touch it up that way, and I decided it wasn't worth my effort. So after those two, I just painted the rest. It's all right. But this is done. Now I gotta get a deck on here and some sides, some electronics. Yeah, making progress. Oh, and some fenders probably. All that to find out I put it on backwards. All right, here's my dilemma, and let's see if somebody really smart has a good solution for this I haven't thought of so far. But right now, I got this little bit of a space here, which I want to keep. I want to have the edge of the plywood come right up to the edge of this. So therefore, I got to have the metal that's going to hold the plywood 3/4 of an inch out, because it's 3/4 inch plywood. So here's going to be the parts that I'm going to put on the side that's going to slot this into it. I already figured out I need to cut some of this to act as a spacer in here so that way that fits tight in there. That's fine. I also figured out that if I take and add pieces of this to it, that'll give me my 3/4 inch mark. The next thing I've got to figure out is the corners, because I want the sides to be able to come off separate from the front and the back, but I want them to interlock. So I was thinking about doing something like this, but then that throws the dimensions off even more where it goes out. So then I also thought about taking and doing something similar to this, and then some flat pieces right where my thumb and forefinger are. But that just seems too bulky and big and heavy, and I don't know, what would you guys do in this situation? We'll see what I'm gonna do after I spend the day thinking about it. All right, so I'm going to recycle these for making the corners. Basically, I'm going to use the thick part on the outside and then the smaller pieces on the inside. All right, guys, so this is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to take and cut the 1x to length, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut the little pieces down below that's going to fit in. However, they don't quite fit tight, so I'm going to cut some shims, and those shims are going to go in there. And once I got that done, I'm going to take and weld the 1x to this angle iron that you saw me cut out of the bed frame. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to square this up, and I'm going to take and weld it on the side. And as you can tell, that brings us to here. Now I'm just going to take and repeat the process on the sides, just without the angle iron. I'm not so worried about on the front, but on the sides I'm worried it's going to bow out over time. So what I decided to do, so I only decided to weld the bottom and not the top, and then that way I could drill and tap this, and now I can take and put a bolt in there and tighten it up if I would like. Now, I'm not going to have that on there to start with because they seem good and tight, but at least it's there. Alright guys, I've been running the train off full chooch, if you know what I mean, which, yeah, it's been running into roadblocks and my brain ain't thinking quite clearly. So I wanted this to line up a little bit better, where this would be sitting on here, and it's not quite going to. That's fine, but not ideal. Yeah, I just mismeasured some things and thought about it. And then with that, the concept is I want like a little thing to go like this and clamp down on it. Well, it's going to have to pivot here, which if I do it level, like I was thinking, it's going to hit. So I'm just going to have to do it up. I kind of like that angle better anyways, for the handle and for that. So I'm not actually regretting that accident. So yeah, I'm going to use these bolts as pins on the top and the bottom, and I'll show you why that is later. But yeah, full steam ahead. Let's go. They're not perfect, but they should work. So although I'm recycling out a bunch of bed frames to do this, I am trying to go through, sort them out, get them the same size, try to use the ones that has as little holes or defects as possible, and trying to only use them. If you're wondering what I'm going to use them for, I decided that I really want to have reinforcement here and down here. Now we need a little spring action. And of course now I do that on all four, and I clean it up, paint it, low angle grinding, but that's good. Alright, now all I need to do is reinforce the sides. Oh yeah, and lights and, you know, various other things. Paint. So I bet you guys thought I was done. Well, I'm not. You saw that rollout, but I forgot braces here, so yeah, I ended up breaking. There's a couple other things I forgot. I wanted a way to take and use this to latch this to this, so it absolutely cannot come up. There's no reason why it would, but I like to have that extra security. This could be charged off of the vehicle itself, but I have a different way I want to solve that. And then these tires are really weather checked. So I got some good 7-plies I'm going to put on there. Got a really good deal on them. So alright. Oh, and also found out the springs on there are a little weak. I bet you some of you saw that coming. So let me turn around and have this done. Alright, and we are back. So I got the new tires on there. Yes, I know the fenders on there are a little bit crooked. I'll have to straighten that out. Got some new springs on there. Pretty heavy duty ones. Yeah, unfortunately a little overspray, but that's okay. Oh yeah, I got that there. And yes, it is a pole. I'm cheap, I mean frugal, but it'll work. And then up here, and I got 2 hooks here. So now I can run this around this, down around here. Just is a little difficult to do on camera. Maybe if I grab it from down here and then you guys can see. So I'll wrap it around there and then I'll re-tighten it up. And that's going to simply lock this down. Again, not that it needs it. And then for charging the battery, I went with a little panel. It does two things. This is an old panel I had laying around, still works good, even though it doesn't look the best. Covers the motor, which I like. Covers the rope a little bit, which I like. And it's going to keep that battery charged up. I am going to take and weatherproof this rope, so that way it's hydrophobic. But yeah, should have that tighter, huh? Anyways, nothing left to do but show you it in action. Let's go. I also ended up upgrading these springs. Last ones were a bit chintzy, had a little bit of an issue with them. I also wanted to put on something a little better for a handle, so up on the front I did end up upgrading to a lithium iron battery. That gives you a little extra oomph with that, a little extra voltage it has, and the other one was simply dying. I added the numbers on here. This is for the dump that I always go to because of the fact that they measure the size that you're bringing in, and that's just convenient for them like that. I hope you guys aren't disappointed because I'm not disappointed. I've used this thing a lot. I'm actually recording this quite a ways after the fact, so I've been using this thing like crazy, and it's working flawlessly every single time. It's really handy. It's nice the fact that the little car can pull it as well as my truck. I've used it beyond my trunk too. And it's nice for hauling the little four-wheelers and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I hope you guys appreciate it and enjoyed it. And until next time, keep creating.